What's going on, everybody? It's Joel here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the shoes from TYR. Alright, so if you've been living under a rock for like the last year or so, the name TYR might sound a little unfamiliar to you. TYR, pronounced TYR. They originally started in swim, but for the last year or so, they've been taking over the CrossFit world by storm. They've been picking up pretty much all of the athletes that had expiring contracts or that are just like bursting onto the scene. And at this point, they probably have the most sponsored athletes going to the games than I think anybody. And with the CrossFit Games being next week, I thought it might be a good time for me to give you a little preview of the shoes that you're gonna be seeing a lot of the athletes wearing at the CrossFit Games. I'm actually gonna be there in person at the CrossFit Games this year. I'm pretty stoked about that. It's my first CrossFit Games since 2016, since they left California. And like I said, I'm really excited to be there. So if you see me there, make sure that you stop me and say hi. I promise I'm really chill and I'd love to meet you guys. But anyways, back to the reason why we're all here, and that is for the shoes. So TYR had sent me all of their shoes to check out maybe about 2 months ago, and I've gotten in a lot of work with pretty much all of these. And I could pretty much give you a review right now, but I would hate to do a review in July or August and then the shoes not come out until November. So I'll probably be holding off on the review until probably about October, maybe September or so. But today, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a preview of what's to come with all of their shoes, which is the lifters, the trainers, and the running shoes. The lifters and the runners are final models. They're not gonna change by the time these shoes get released, but the ones that will change slightly are gonna be the trainers, and that's what we're gonna start with today. So this shoe has the most amount of hype behind it right now. I think everybody wants to know what's going on with the CXT1 lifters from TYR. So like I said, this is going to be just a preview, kind of like first impressions. I'm just gonna go over these shoes real quick. Not really gonna talk about the performance too much, but I'm gonna tell you what the build consists of and kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what the shoe feels like. So here are the CXT1 training shoes. And right away, I'm gonna tell you that these have a 9mm drop. That's the highest that I can think of any training shoe at the moment. But I will say that I did not guess that was the drop. They had to tell me if I was guessing, it would be like a 6mm max. These shoes have a very flat profile to them, flat contact area to the outsole. The upper is a knit material throughout the front part of the shoe, and then there's a micro suede material at the back part of the shoe. And on this particular model, which is the one that they sent out to people for like the semifinals, there's a gray, white, and gum color scheme. So for the games, you're gonna be seeing the TYR athletes wear something similar to this, but it's gonna be like red, white, and gum with a speckled midsole. Another change that you're gonna see on the games model is the back part of the shoe is gonna be a different style of micro suede that is more similar to the material that is found on the lifters, has more of a texture to it than this shinier material on the current CXT1. Another thing that you're gonna see on the games model and the final model is that the Achilles part is not gonna have this cut right here, and it's gonna be rounded out right there. So it's gonna be a little bit easier on your Achilles than the semifinals model. So we have a TPU midsole cover that spans the lateral side all the way around the back of the heel and then to the medial side. And this should help you with rope climbs as well as a little bit more protection for the sidewalls and rubber of the shoe. And then we also have a little pointy area at the very, very back of the shoe that should help you with doing handstand push-ups. There's a slight rocker to the heel, and then we have exposed midsole at the back right here. It's raised up a little bit to cup your heel, and then we've got exposed midsole at the very front part of the shoe, and then we've got a pretty sizable toe bumper. The rubber on this shoe is pretty sticky. Predominantly flat contact outsole. There's a little bit of an indentation at like the arch part of the shoe. Can't really feel it, doesn't really interfere with your lifts or anything. So I'm gonna say that these mainly feel very flat. And that's the feeling that I got wearing these shoes. And we have a pretty standard lacing system. The eye stays are covered with the same material as the back part of the shoe. It's that same micro suede, perforated mesh tongue. And then in the inside, we have a footbed that gives you some immediate comfort when you put your feet inside of these shoes. And like I said before, the drop on these shoes is 9 millimeters. The weight on them, I forget off the top of my head, but it's somewhere in the 12-ounce range for a men's size 10. So to give you a little idea about how these shoes fit, I got them in a size 10 and I think they fit true to size, a little bit more on the wider side. There was a little bit of Achilles rub with the way that this heel is designed, but like I said, that's gonna be changed for the actual release, and you're gonna see what that looks like when you see these on the feet of the people wearing them at the games. And just to highlight a few things for you guys with the CXT1, these are a very versatile shoe. You can do anything in these shoes and they're gonna handle the job very well. They've got a very flat contact outsole. So these actually tricked me. I didn't think that they were a 9 millimeter shoe. And I think that's because the way that the outsole feels. They're very direct to the ground. There honestly isn't a whole lot of cushion in these shoes, but they are training shoes. They are very stable and they are actually still pretty flexible and comfortable to wear day to day throughout all of your training sessions. All right, so the next shoe that we're gonna talk about is the RD1 running shoe. And these, to me, were the most surprising out of all the shoes that they sent me. When I started running in these, I was immediately blown away by how comfortable, yet how stable they were at the same time. I personally like a more stable running shoe, so these, for me, were immediately very, very comfortable. They do have a knit material that's pretty much throughout the whole shoe, and it's just a one-piece upper. There's a little bit of a back strap right here that says RD1. Obviously, the colorway here has a white to yellow to orange gradient on it, and then you've got a bluish rubber on the bottom. You've got some zones for a little bit more flex. And then the drop on these shoes is an about 11 millimeter drop. These have a really nice underfoot feel. The insole on these is really nice. It's cushioned, gives you an immediate level of comfort. And then the midsole on these is springy and it's still stable. It's actually very responsive. And I prefer my running shoes to be a little bit more on the stable, responsive, not so much mushy side. The one thing that I think is not so great about these is that they are a little bit heavy for a pair of running shoes. I remember I weighed these ones in at a little bit over 11 ounces, and I think that's kind of heavy for a running shoe. It's not terrible, and I had the idea that they kind of made this as like a running shoe for CrossFitters to kind of use for more plyometric running based workouts, but that wasn't the case. They told me that they made this as a pure running shoe. The fit on these is really nice. I love the way that the upper feels around my foot with these shoes. I got them in a size 10 and I think they fit like right on the money. Perfect amount of room in the toe box for my toes display. They're breathable and they're a joy to run in. I really like these shoes. And I think the reason why I might like them a little bit more is because I didn't have any idea on what these would feel like. Okay, so before we take a look at the L1 lifters and close up this video, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the apparel. So I'm wearing the AirTech tank top. It's a nice light airy tank top. There's like little micro perforations throughout it. Obviously the TYR logo. I'm wearing this in a large, fits me perfectly. And this also comes in a t-shirt flavor, and the t-shirt's right here. Same kind of material. There are some more structured panels, very comfortable, very easy to train in, and also looks really nice. And then we have the Unbroken shorts, which I'm wearing right now. And these have a flat waistband, 7-inch inseam. The ones I have on right now have a liner. There's a side slit. The fit on these is a little bit on the baggier side, more relaxed. A lot of companies nowadays are doing more of a close to skin fit, whereas the TYRs are not so much. They're a little bit on the baggier side. And then there are the Momentum shorts, which kind of have the same exterior shell, but these are designed for running. These are a little bit baggier than the Unbroken shorts, but a lot of the same features. There's a nice scallop leg here, scrunchy waistband, and then there is only one pocket on the Momentum short, which kills me because I like to have two pockets, but the Unbroken short has two side and then one zippered side as well. And the price points for these are gonna be, it's $50 for the shirts. Tank tops, I think are like $45. And then the shorts retail for $70 to $75 depending on the model and if you wanna get liner. All right, now finally, to close up this video, we have the L1 lifters. And I wanna take back what I said about the CXT1s being the most anticipated shoe. The L1s are probably actually the most anticipated shoe. And the reason for that is because of their foot-shaped toe box. Everybody's about that foot-shaped toe box life right now, and TYR is gonna be the one that's bringing it to them. So there really aren't any other weightlifting shoes at the moment that have a toe box that is shaped like these. And from my memory, the one that sticks out that has the closest shape to these is the Reebok Lifter Plus 2.0, which I thought was a really comfortable lifting shoe. And honestly, I didn't really see too many things wrong with it other than the fact I think people hated on it because it was a CrossFit lifter and not an actual lifting shoe. These, however, are an actual lifting shoe made for Olympic weightlifting. So with that in mind, they are a little bit on the heavier side. I think they were closer to 20 ounces, 19 something for a men's size 10. There's two straps. You have the lateral and the medial strap that go opposing directions, obviously. You have some perforations at the top of the toe box. You've got that micro suede that has a nice texture to it. It feels really nice, a lot better than the micro suede that's at the back of the CXT1s. And that's predominantly the whole upper. You do have a very big TYR logo, which I think is not bad. Some people really hate on it, but to me, it's not that bad. And then you have this back part right here that's made out of TPU for more structure at the heel of the shoe. And then the heel of the shoe is made out of TPU that's not compressing, that's not flexing. And the drop on these is 21 millimeters. So the effective heel height, 21 millimeters on the L1 lifter. The outsole on this shoe is made out of the same rubber that you'll find on the CXT1. It's very sticky, and it's one of my favorite features about the L1 lifters and CXT1s. And then you do have some extra contact points in the form of these little outriggers at the side of the metatarsals. So you have one on the medial side and then one on the lateral side, which increases ground contact without actually making the upper wider. On these shoes, you do have a pretty standard lacing system. There's really nothing special there. You've got a nice padded cushioned tongue. The fit around the ankle with these shoes is very comfortable. It does have a very similar style heel to the CXT1s, but it doesn't really rub or anything like the CXT1s in this current form do. Another thing that I really like about these shoes is how they made the insole. So the insole is a little bit on the stiffer side. It cups your foot, and then it's got a softer density foam that runs throughout the middle part of it. So it gives you a little bit more stability from the footbed, which you're not really gonna find on any other lifting shoes at the moment. Now back to the reason why I think a lot of you guys are here for the L1s, and that is the fit. And I'm gonna say it's wide. It's got a good amount of space in the toe box. I really like the way that the toe box is shaped. It's comfortable to wear. There's a good amount of room for my toes to splay, so you get that extra little bit of power when you're doing your Olympic weightlifting movements or even just your powerlifting movements. Another thing that I really like about these shoes is there's almost no toe spring. It's a very, very flat lifting shoe. And I think a lot of people are really gonna like that about them too. I don't understand the whole toe spring thing on lifting shoes, but TYR's got you covered in a very flat, heavy, and wide Olympic weightlifting shoe. So, what are these gonna cost you? The L ones are gonna be $200. The RD ones are gonna be $130, and the CXT ones are gonna retail for $130. So very competitive price points, especially with everybody raising their prices on all their shoes. TYR's sticking it to them with just a normal price point, or a normal like CrossFit shoe price point. And like I said before, all of these shoes launch in November, so we still have a long way to go. But starting Sunday, these shoes are gonna be available for pre-order. A limited amount of them are gonna be available for pre-order. I think there's gonna be like 5 CXT1 colors. Not sure about the lifters, not sure about the running shoes. Kind of vague on all the details right there, but that's about all the information they gave me about the pre-sale. So hopefully that was enough to satisfy you guys until the actual review comes out. I think you guys have a lot to look forward to with the TYR training shoes, and I really think with this launch they're gonna cement themselves into the CrossFit world. But anyways, if you guys have any questions about the TYR CXT1 lifters, RD1s, running shoes, whatever, feel free to leave them in the comment section. And like I said before, if you guys see me at the CrossFit Games, make sure you stop me and say hi. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.